Welcome everyone to the Sports Giant Network. And today in this video, I'm reviewing this past weekend's fight night, UFC Mexico City, Moreno versus Erceg, and then I'm gonna preview this upcoming weekend's fight night in the Apex, Josh Emmett versus Lauren Murphy, and at the main event, obviously. So I'm gonna review that and try to break it down. Normally I'll do two videos, but I decided to do one, just make it easier for me instead of doing like two videos, and plus there will be another video coming out soon, shortly, about like the fight news that got announced by Dana White on Instagram. So thank you guys for watching, and listening. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like the video, and let me know you guys' thoughts. So we'll start. I saw the main card. I didn't see the prelims, so unfortunately, I didn't really watch any prelims. I know there was like a, sorry, I know there was like a pretty good knockout by Atiba Gutierrez. I'm hoping I'm not butchering his name. He's the Cameroon fighter who knocked out Jose Medina in the main event, the prelims. Do want to shout him out real quick? Anyway, first fight in the main card was Kevin Borjas being Ronaldo Rodriguez unanimous decision. I thought Borjas won all three rounds clearly. Clearly won all three rounds. He Rodriguez, he was trying to be too flashy. Like he didn't have the right fundamentals in this fight. Like nothing he drew was like, he just kept trying to do flashy stuff and try and connect, trying to get a high road knockout. Like, for those who don't know, Ronaldo Rodriguez got like 2 million followers on Instagram. He's very popular among the Mexican fan base. 2 million followers. That's probably more than some guys who are top 10, even current and former champions, which is crazy. And I feel like he was fighting Mexico, and he going into this fight, I think Rodriguez's record was 17-2. Yeah, 17-2 prior to this fight. His last fight is Odie Osborne, who's not exactly the best flyweight. He barely won. He didn't exactly dominate Osborne. He should have. He barely did enough to win. And I should have been signed that maybe if he fought better competition, he would probably get beat. He'd probably lose. And Borjas was coming off a 2-fight losing streak, but one was to Joshua Van, who's ranked in the top 15 at flyweight, who looks like a guy who could be a title challenger by the end of next year, or maybe fight for the belt at the end of next year. Joshua Van. And then was to Alexandro Costa, who's himself a really good flyweight himself, a guy who's very talented. So Bros has lost back-to-back losses were to like a lot of the better flyweights in the division. And then Borjas was able to basically just land a bunch of rights on him. The whole fight, he landed a lot of rights, right straights and like right hands on Rodriguez. He even dropped him twice. In my opinion, he dropped him twice. Dropped him one time. Rodriguez went backwards, like backwards again, dropped handstands to basically get up, and then to get up and on his feet and just keep on fighting. And then there was another right that dropped in that they didn't count because they say he might have been off balance, which it looked like to me the knockdowns what dropped him. Maybe he was off balance, but he did get dropped. It looked like a knockdown to me. Like he might have been, but watching it live, I thought it was a knockdown. It looked more like a knockdown, like watching. And to me, he got two knockdowns in the first round. Not that it's 10-8. It's not a 10-8 round because he didn't exactly damage him like to a point where it required a 10-8. But still, he had like two knockdowns, Bros. And kept landing the right on Rodriguez. Rodriguez got a takedown late in the first round, but didn't do anything. And Rodriguez went for a takedown a couple of times, but couldn't get it all for the rest of the fight. And Rodriguez didn't have the fundamentals. He just didn't do like nothing worked. Like he kept doing flashy stuff and like very like flashy like kicks and punches, but some of them landed, but a lot of them didn't. Like he didn't throw the basics. Like he just set up his kicks, do basic head kicks, basic body kicks, leg kicks, etc., basic punches, and actually worked on that and actually done well. He probably could have won, but he didn't do that, and that's something he needs to work on. He's like 26, 27 years old. Is Rodriguez? I think 26. So he definitely has time to improve. He's 17-3, but he needs to like work on that if he ever wants to really truly become a next level superstar like Pereira or Charles Olivera was, or guys like that. Where again, the guy has 2 million Instagram followers, but at the same time, if he would have got a knockout after getting dropped and doing that handstand and get back up, that looked visually cool. If he would have got a knockout in the fight after doing that, oh, that would have gone. There've been so many edit clips. It would have gone viral. He really would have blew up more in popularity. And but it didn't happen. So, like I said, he needs to work on skill. He work on some things like skills, etc., and just work on fundamentals if he really wants to take it to the next level and truly be a star for Mexico and be a international star. 2 million, 2 million, like I said, 2 million Instagram followers. And Kevin Borjas, I mean, we'll see what's next for him. Good victory, bounce back victory after losing two in a row. But obviously good competition. So we'll see what Kevin Borjas does next. Like I say, he's a good fighter. Like I said, good fighter himself. Which is from that fight to the next fight in in the bantamweight division, where David Martinez gets a knockout victory with Simon Olivera in first round, 4 minutes 30 seconds. I'm just looking at topology to see what time, to see like what time I got a knockout. Anyway, I saw this fight. This was a David Martinez. I mean, I'm not surprised. Simon Olivera hadn't fought that much in like the last like 2, 3. He hadn't fought like I think 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. Even before that, he wasn't exactly anything special. And Martinez is what coming in this fight 11-1. Had fought, had more active, and it kind of was a layup for Martinez. I think Martinez was a good favorite going to this fight. I don't remember the odds, and Martinez was able to just I mean, he just hurt him. He called him with a right that connected, and then from there he just landed like another right, and then like a knee, like a tie clinch knee that dropped him, and then he just hit him with a couple ground and pound shots. Like he hit like a few, then missed a couple, then landed a few more that basically finished Simon Oliveira. He's got a performance bonus. I mean, this was just a clear mismatch. I mean, it seemed like Oliveira at one point was trying to like basically. It seemed like he was trying to go for a clinch, like trying to like hold on to him, but the way it just didn't look good the way he was trying to. It looked like he was just doing it out of desperation, and it just like it was like too so telegraphed. It was so easy for Martinez to get out the way, basically, and avoid being in the clinch battle with him. And then from there, Martinez just slowly was able to pick him apart and like break through his guard that right, like I said, and hit him with another right. Then that knee that dropped him, and then just ground and pound him. I mean, this was a very good performance from Martinez. Got the crowd happy in Mexico. Layup, not surprised. He's 12-1. He's definitely gonna. I mean, I'm trying to see like how many. Let me see how many fights he's had in UFC. He's got. I know he has. Okay, only one. He had a contender series fight. Okay, I thought he had. So I thought he had more fights in the UFC. I thought he fought in the spear. I'm probably confusing with Edgar Chavez. We'll talk about later on. That's probably what it is. For some reason, I thought he fought in the spear in like some other cards, but anyway, other UFC cards. But yeah, 12-1 now. Obviously, give him some other guys who are unranked in the bantamweight division. Definitely, like if he wins like at least 3 more fights in the bantamweight division, maybe two impressively, then you maybe give him someone just outside the rankings, etc. Bantamweight is very deep into talent and stuff, so yeah, he's not gonna rush his way to the top 10, nor should he. Like he's still young. Let's build him up. We'll see if he ends up becoming something. But great performance by David Martinez. For instance, from that fight to the next fight, as Raul Rosas Jr. gets a victory over Vince Morales via unanimous decision, 29-28. Morales won the third round. First of all, Morales was able to put on like 2 chokeholds on Rojas Jr., but Rojas Jr. was able to avoid getting submitted. I think part of it is his chin, because people like to mention how Rojas has a very unique chin. Like it stands out, like it really does. And they feel like the fact that Rojas Jr.'s chin the way he is, he was able to like all he do is just like tuck it in a little bit, and he was able to break the hold and break the squeeze of Morales' choke basically. With a chin like that, especially if it's not truly tucked underneath your neck, if you're going for a choke on Ross Jr. or or if your grip's not like ridiculously strong, it's gonna be very hard to submit Ross Jr. via like some chokeholds, etc. I mean, I think it's gonna be nearly impossible to. I could be wrong, but we'll see. But yeah, Ross Jr. won, took him down, controlled him, dominated the wrestling. But the one thing I got to criticize Ross Jr. about is I wish Ross Jr. would have done more ground and pound. He just kept going for more submissions. He just kept like controlling him, taking him down. He went for a few, but I feel like I wish he would have gone a little bit more submissions. Probably should have. And I wish he would throw more ground and pound. Like it's like the whole time he was just trying to like just like control him and dominate him there instead of actually going for ground and pound when there's so many opportunities for him to do it. Or if he does, he could open up a submission hole for him to do. or even go for a submission. Like he didn't try. It was something that Ross Jr. definitely needs to work on. And granted, he's 20 years old. He's still young, 20 years old, and already have what 4 or 5 UFC victories is impressive. He fought in the Contender Series when he was 17 and made his UFC debut when he was 18. But so it's crazy. He's 20 years old and he's already got like 4 or 5. Actually, let me look it up right now since I'm on technology on my phone. Let me see. He's got 5 victories in the UFC, so that's really impressive. 20 years old with 5 victories in the UFC. He's 5-1, and it's crazy because the guy who beat him, Christian Rodriguez, lost in the prelims of this card too. It's kind of ironic. Christian Rodriguez didn't make weights, and I might have been a huge. That probably was an advantage going into that fight. But Ross Jr. is 20 years old, he's still young, still growing, still developing. But and he probably will grow. I mean, 25. A lot of fighters when they come when 25, that's when they're entering the UFC. Yeah, he probably 25 years old. He'll have like probably almost a decade of fighting experience. And if he's still in the UFC, he'll be in the UFC for a while, and that's when he probably might reach his prime, his peak, which is and that maybe that'd be easier to judge what kind of fighter Rosas Jr. will be. Even though I do think he'll be, I won't be surprised if he's ranked by the end of the year, personally. But yeah, just hopefully for him that he can work on his ground and pound and like submission attempts. Because if he had done more, he probably could have got and really like made name, really like got more popular, more over, as they say in wrestling. Considering like he's popular in Mexico, he has the Chiwiwi. That's Chiwiwi, which is very popular. That Chiwiwi, which is so funny to hear him say. I can't do it like him. The way he says it's like it sounds better the way I say it. But yeah, he's got star potential. Ross Jr. I've been rooting for him because he's so young. I thought it was cool. It's his story, and like he's got he has like a very like he has presence like aura. I mean, yeah, aura, and like good personality, good on the mic, Spanish and English, speaks good English. I mean, if Ross Jr. could ever get to the title fight, to a championship fight, and get there, he'll be a star. He's got the personality to be just as big as have to be just as big a star in Mexico as Ronaldo Rodriguez is. But yeah, good victory overall for he clearly won 29-28 on Ross Jr. Then we'll transition from that fight to Edgar Chavez against CJ Verga. I mean, Edgar Chavez just dominated CJ Verga. CJ Verga probably should retire or get cut by UFC. I mean, I've seen him fight a few times, and that. I'm just, in my opinion, I'm just gonna be 100. Plus, I think he's on a 3-fight losing streak. What's his Verga? What's Verga's record? Yeah, 3-fight losing streak. Got finished his last 2 fights. One's by TKO, one by submission. And Edgar Chavez, he looked like a bantamweight Alex Pereira. He might, maybe flyweight Alex Pereira. Like the shaved head, the skin tone is very similar to Pereira. Like even when he was like like throwing doing stances like this, he reminded me of Alex Pereira. I think he landed a left hook too at one point that kind of got Verga, if I remember correctly. Or like I forget, he landed a left hook, or I'm trying to remember because if you saw the fight, like Verga's like right arm, like I mean not right arm. Ugh, I don't know why I said that. Right eye was very visibly red. I think it might have been like the jabs he was landing. He's landing a couple jabs and left straights, Chavez, or like a left hook that might really made it red. But we all know Pereira's famous for his left hooks. It kind of looked like Pereira, mini Pereira there, and then he catches it and he hurts Verga. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was also a right, kind of like Martinez, or it might have been a left hook that really rocked Verga, because he rocked Verga, and then he rocked in that kind of made him slip, and then that's where Chavez immediately got Verga's back, was able to get rear naked choke within like 30 seconds and choke him out, which is really impressive. And especially since I gotta watch it again. I don't. It was in, but I don't think it was like fully in, if that makes sense. But he just had a tight squeeze, and Verga had no choice but to tap. Like he tapped immediately. I mean, it was a very good performance for Edgar Chavez, and Chavez is fun to watch. Like, so that's why he lost to Joshua Van, but Joshua Van is pretty damn good. This dude is unbelievable. He beat Chavez. Chavez, I know his record's not the best, but he's always in action-packed, fun fights. Even when he doesn't win, he's always putting on good performances. Like he goes out there and fights. He has that very Mexican spirit, Mexican machismo that we expect Mexican fighters to have, especially for boxing and MMA, where he gives his all. He definitely exemplifies that. Does Chavez, and he so that's why I like watching him fight. He had a good victory against CJ Verga. Malaya, but still did what he's supposed to do. He did what he's supposed to do, and I respect that. And we transition from that fight to the lightweight division, the co-main event, as Manuel Torres knocks out Drew Dober in the first round. Dober might need to retire. I think so. Normally, I don't like saying stuff like that, but he probably does. Because, I mean, part of me wants to say, but part of me like, damn, should I really tell fighters what to do? You know what I mean? It's like one of those things I get in sometimes. But in my opinion, I'm going to keep it 100. He probably should retire. Dober got beat up badly by Gene Silva in his last fight, the doctor stoppage. And then here, Torres just drops him right. And then he goes for, like, hold on to his leg. And Torres just lands a bunch of hammer fists, like 15, 16, 17 hammer fists in a row. A few of them landed back of the head. But the ref missed it, and plus, it seems like nowadays you can hit the back of the head. Basically, I've seen there's several fights where guys just hit their opponent's back in the head, and the ref doesn't call it, even though the ref's looking at him. It's like ref, he's hitting the back of the head. That's illegal. But I guess it's illegal now. I guess it seems like. I mean, especially since it didn't. What was it? Herb Dean was it? I forget who the ref was who didn't penalize Chandler against Olivera in the rematch. Where he clearly hit Olivera in the back of the head multiple times, which just bothers me. I mean, thank God Charles won. But yeah, anyway, back to this fight. Yeah, but most of the punches Torres landed were to the side of the head. They weren't to the back. There was like two of them that landed the back, but most of them were to the side of the head. At the end of the day, it was legal. It was a good victory for Torres. Bounce back victory after losing to Ignacio Bonamondez. We got finished. He was a favorite in that fight, I believe. Torres was, but still, Bonamondez is now ranked in the top 15 in lightweight. He's done very well. He's won like 8 of his last 9 fights, if I remember. Yeah, 8 of his last 9. He's on a roll, Bonamondez, and no shame losing to him. This fight shows me how good Bonamondez is. The fact he was able to finish Torres, then Torres went out there and finished freaking Dober with ease. Like Dober's been finished before. Like I think who was it that knocked him out in the first round? Matt Ravola did knock him out in the first round by a head kick. Let me check his. Yeah, it was by strike. Yeah, I think it was a head kick that dropped Dober by Ravola. And then, unfortunately for Dober has lost 4 of his last 5. I mean, he lost Ravola, bounced back to knockout victory over Ricky Glenn, who ain't all that. Then lost to Honorable Macano. Macano beat him up and was able to beat him to decision. Then lost to Gene Silva by doctor stoppage, and then get knocked out by Manuel Torres. Which is crazy. It's crazy because Dober is known for having a granite chin, one of the best chins in MMA. You can take a lot of punishment and dish it out too. He's got great knockout power, but it seems like it's starting to decline. Plus, Dober has been fighting for a long time. He has about 42 fights. He's 36, about to turn 37 soon. So it may be time for Dober to hang it up. Potentially, I mean, I'm trying to think who you give Dober. I mean, I don't know. Jared Gordon, I guess, and Manuel Torres. He now proves 16-3. Very good, really good striker. He's got half his victories are by freaking knockout. I mean, matter of fact, Manuel Torres he's only had 1 decision victory. He's one of our entertaining fighters, someone to watch out for. A guy I think who could be ranked by the end of the year if he fights 2 more times. Who you give him next? I'm trying to think someone outside the rankings that he can give Torres. No, he's just fuck. I can't think of one right now, but definitely, like I said, 2 more victories, and I think he'll be ranked. I mean, Manuel Torres is a guy who I think could definitely definitely make noise in the lightweight division. A guy who could really like, what am I forgetting the term? Really like capture the Mexican audience and really be the next prospect from Mexico. Him and David Martinez. So Mexico's got a lot of up and coming guys that you gotta watch out for, in my opinion. And speaking of Mexico and stars, I'll turn it to the main event now. And by the way, Torres got performance bonus he deserved. Brandon Moreno beat Steve Erceg 4-1 via unanimous decision. And I agree because Brandon Moreno was the only one throwing shots of consequence, actually throwing. Steve Erceg, I don't know what the fuck that was. That was bad performance. Steve Erceg is talented enough to be a champion in his weight class. He gave Pantoja a tough fight last year. He was 3-0 in the UFC prior to the Pantoja fight. Gave him a tough fight, and he's got good boxing. He's very technical, but in this fight, he just didn't do anything. It was almost like he kept doing jab, jab, tap, tap, low kicks, and just jabs that weren't affecting Moreno. Moreno just kept pressing forward. The punches he landed actually hurt or actually had consequences. Actually got to Erceg, like stunned it. It didn't wobble him. Well, actually, I think actually the first round he was wobbled by Moreno, but outside that he wasn't. Erceg was able to, Erceg was able to make it through the entire fight. Considering they're in Mexico City too, which has the high altitude. By the way, I don't think any fighter really gassed out. They all prepare for the altitude. If you know, Mexico City is a ridiculously high altitude, and guys tend to gas out and stuff. There's a lot of reasons like guys don't like flying altitude. They don't like flying Salt Lake City, Denver, or Mexico City because of the altitude. But Erceg's able to survive that, get all 5 rounds. But that was a bad performance. Like people were saying, he was like Corey Sandhagen when Corey fought Umar. Corey was so technical and trying to be so technical and doing everything too perfect that it cost him against Umar, and Umar was able to take advantage of him. That's what seemed like happened here with Erceg. Erceg was trying to be too technical and just think, oh, if I just land on him, just tap him, I'll win. And if I just be technical, I'll catch him, and just didn't work. And he just none. Erceg when he drew had no consequences. There were times where he didn't throw when he should have. Meanwhile, Moreno actually was fighting. He actually was throwing things, landing, and actually had consequences. He actually was trying to win, trying to participate in the fist fight, and he took Well, no, I think Erceg drew a kick. Moreno caught him and took him down, and was able to control him for like in that 5th round. Erceg gave round to me. I gave Erceg round 3. Round 3, he clearly won. Because Moreno didn't do much, and Erceg landed more. That was the only round I give Erceg. I don't know how some of these fans thought that Erceg could have won, or I don't get it. Like round 2, it was close. You could maybe argue Erceg, but round 4 you cannot argue Erceg. It was clear Moreno. Moreno clearly won that round, and 1-4. I mean 1-5. Excuse me. Round 2 I gave Moreno because Moreno's shots he landed a little bit more and shots had more impact than Erceg. So I had to give round 2 to Moreno. But I don't understand how anyone can give Erceg that fight. Some people were saying that, which I don't get. Like, did you not watch the fight? Watch the fight. There's no way in this world can you give Steve Erceg the fight. That's crazy. That would be one of the worst robberies in MMA history if they did that. Some of these people, I think you need to read the rules of what MMA, how you score fights, and like need to read. Also need to like freaking also need to freaking like rewatch the fight because Erceg clearly lost that fight. Clearly, this was a bad performance for Steve Erceg. Very bad. I don't know. Also, why didn't Erceg go for more takedowns? He just jab, leg kick, tappy leg kick. Didn't exactly go for a takedown. And I don't know if maybe the Pantoja fight because in the 5th round he went for a takedown but got reversed and that probably cost him that fight. Some argue he should have won anyway. Maybe he doesn't want to do that again. And then I don't know. Maybe he got gunshot in his fight because the last fight he got knocked out badly by Kai Friends. But Kai Friends got first round knockouts. He got like 10 or 11 first round knockouts. That's the problem fighting Kai Friends is that he can just catch you and drop you and finish you. He has that ability. And I don't know, maybe those last 2 fights affected him here and caused him to be, not do what he did. But this is a bad performance for Erceg, a guy who I think could be a champion potentially and fight for the belt again. But he's got to like work on some stuff and just go for it and actually do things and like not try to be perfect all the time. And like I said, I think he needs to like fight down the rankings. He can't be fighting like he fought Pantoja when he really didn't deserve to fight Pantoja. The only reason they gave him because there was no one for Pantoja to fight. They needed a main event for that Brazil card last year that was terrible. That they didn't have no main event. Surprising, they didn't really prepare for it. It was like last minute like fight they made for that card. Then he fights Kakar France afterwards, who was top 3, and now he fights Brandon Moreno, who's number 2. So yeah, I think Erceg needs to fight someone like 8 and 9 below, basically. No one in top 7. basically. I'm trying to think. I forget his name. Asu Belov. Maybe he fights him next. That'd be a good matchup potentially. And now, speaking of, now let me talk about the winner real quick. 'Cause I've been focused on Erceg. Let me focus on Brand Moreno. Moreno is the winner. Good performance. I like Brand Moreno. I've always liked him. He's definitely, they love him in Mexico, rightfully so. First Mexican champion. Good personality. I like him. Entertaining fighter. The problem is, what do you do with Moreno? Because he's lost to Pantoja twice. Three times you count the Ultimate Fighter, which doesn't count. It's because exhibition, technically, but still. Three times he's lost to Pantoja. Two officially. He just lost to Brandon Royval last year. He was ranked above him, but Royval can't get a title fight because he just lost. He lost to Pantoja twice. It looks like they're gonna do Pantoja and Kaikara France, even though what they should do is Manel Cab and Kaikara France. That's a fight we all want to see. But since those two don't like each other, and it's a good style matchup for both guys, I think it'll be an entertaining fight. Do you do maybe now I think about it, maybe you do Royval Moreno the rematch? Maybe do that, and the winner can get another crack at Pantoja, or problem is like they're probably gonna want to do a flyweight title fight soon. This is why Sean O'Malley should not be fine for freaking Marab. Should have been Marab and freaking Pantoja. That way the fly division can situate itself out, and we can get clarity in who's the next contender. But now I don't know what to do. Maybe I guess the Royval rematch. Might as well do it for Moreno. I would like to see him. I may be cool if Moreno fall for the belt again, but at the same time, it's gonna be hard. He's gonna need one more fight. It's just, I guess. See, the problem is Tyra's come off that loss to Royval. If Tyra wasn't come off that loss, I would say Tyra, but at the same time, Tyra probably would got the title fight against Pantoja in December instead of Kaya Sakura. But fuck, I don't know. They'll figure it out. But Moreno should get one more fight. If he wins that fight, give him another shot, Pantoja. But and also, I would like to see Manel Cat and Kaigar friends fight each other. Winner fights for the belt ahead of Moreno, especially especially if freaking Manel. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Whoever wins that fight should get a title fight next. But we'll see what the UFC does. Anyway, well, that's the end of the Mexico review. The review of Mexico City. Solid card for the most part. That was solid. The main card. I just didn't put points. The main event was but actually, but for the most part, I thought the main event was a good main event, except for some certain parts. It was good. Like I said, Erceg kind of made it more boring. It was more so Erceg not doing much. Moreno was trying, but Erceg just, I don't know what that was. But it was still a good fight. It wasn't the most boring fight out there. There's way more boring fights I've seen in that. Still was a good. It was a solid fight for the most part, in my opinion. Let me transition from that to UFC Fight Night. Emmett versus Murphy, or yeah, Laurel Murphy's fight. That's his name. I do want to talk about Kenny Nzechukwu against Martin Buday. Kenny Nzechukwu, I don't know why I had a hard time pronouncing that name, is ranked in the top 15 heavyweights, and he's looked good moving up to heavyweight. He really has. This dude looks like I know people say he's a smaller frame for heavyweight. He's like 230 something, but he's 6'5", and all his losses are at light heavyweights. Like he was fought at heavyweight, I think, early in his career, then went to light heavyweight, I believe. My memory serves me correct. And all his losses at light heavyweights. And ironically enough, he has a victory over Carlos Olberg and I forgot the other good fighter he has in light heavyweight. A victory over, I forget, but just move up to heavyweight. He looks great. He's athletic. He's lean, but he's more athletic lean, like lean muscle. Like if he can put, like all he needs to put like 5 more pounds, he's good, in my opinion. 5 more pounds of muscle, of course. He's athletic. He's powerful with punches, and I think he's gonna beat up Martin Buday, knock him out. Martin Buday is a guy who came in, with who came in with some hype from Europe, and then I believe he won his UFC debut. Then he got finished by Shamil Gaziev. But Gaziev finished him badly. But Gaziev is Gaziev. I mean, come on now, we can't act like Gaziev. I know people. Gaziev is a good top 15 heavyweights, and plus, we know the lore, the memes. Let's not act like this dude ain't gonna go on his championship run. If you know the memes of Shamil Gaziev, but he's good though. He's top 15 for a reason. Gaziev finished him, knocked him out badly. And then his last fight, he won a split decision against Andrei Arlovsky. Now, Andrei Arlovsky is a legend, a former champion, but come on. if you're winning a split decision in 2024 against Andre Arlovsky, I can't trust you. I know his record is what 14-2 or something. Yeah, 14-2. I can't trust you. I'm paying Kennedy Nzechukwu to finish this Martin Buday in the first round. They'll catch him and hurt him finish in the first round. I just see it. I mean, Kennedy Nzechukwu could be maybe. I don't know. I'll doubt it, but there's a part of me that thinks he might be a dark horse in the heavyweight division. There's a part of me that doubts it, but part of me is telling me nah, he might be athletic, strong, knockout power. You know, there's a part of me that thinks that, but we'll always see. But I think he's gonna be freaking. He's definitely gonna knock out Martin Buday. I can't trust Buday if you're going freaking split decision victory over 2024 Andre Arlovsky. Come on. I think it's a bad matchup for Martin Buday. Oh, in the co-main event, I don't. Sorry, don't I started there. Past 17 against Jerison Brito, excuse me. Brito. I butchered that there. Jerison Brito's is going to be finished past 17. This is a layup for him. I know Brito's coming up and lost to William Gomez, and some people are like, "Oh, he lost to William Gomez." First of all, it's controversial. He might have got robbed in France because he was fighting a French fighter in France. I think Brito got robbed against William Gomez. I remember thinking Brito should have got the victory, and then they just gave it to Gomez because he's French and he had a somewhat competitive fight with Brito, who everyone thought was going to be top 15 by this point this year. And he really should have gotten victory. He really should have gotten that victory and been ranked or fought a ranked guy next. But the judges freaking screwed him over. Pat Sabatini, he's fighting Pat Sabatini. And the thing with Pat Sabatini, great jiu-jitsu. His jiu-jitsu game's good, but that's the only thing he has is jiu-jitsu. Like everything else, like his striking ain't the best, and he get caught and finish. Like he got caught and finished obviously by Diego Lopez. Now I know it's Diego Lopez who's about to fight for the featherweight title next month. I mean next week, but still, like Lopez dropped him and finished him. He's not known for having the best striking, and he's hittable and he get caught and finished if you catch him properly. He's not the best, striker at all. Jiu-jitsu's his thing. If he's not able to take you down, like if it turns to a wrestling match, he's gonna lose to Jordan Brito. Brito's gonna win that. Striking, Brito has the advantage. Brito has more ways to win than freaking Pat 17, and Brito is good defensively with jiu-jitsu as well. Very good. So not only 17 is gonna dominate there and get submission. I think Brito's basically gonna do his gonna do well there and defend the submissions if it ever gets to that point. But I can see Jonathan Brito late first round catching him, dropping him, finishing him. That's what I think. I'm pretty sure Brito's the favorite. It should be. But yeah, Brito's good. Like if once Joseph Brito wins, I don't know. It sounds like I'm saying Brito, but I'm not trying to say that. I'm trying to say Jonathan Brito. Brito. I don't know why I'm having a hard time pronouncing that name for some odd reason. Normally I'm good with names like that. Like the Greek names is what fucks me up usually. Greek names for sure, and maybe some other languages. But I can say Polish names well, Russian names well, Japanese, and even Korean names. Korean names well. But I don't know why. But for reason with Jonathan Brito, I can't. I'm somewhat butchering it. Even though it's Portuguese, but yeah, Jonathan Brito is very good. I got a knockout. I got him winning by knockout, late first round. Just too many more ways to win. 17, he's not that good striking. Just easy. Should be. I bounce back victory for Jonathan Brito. I think after that he should get someone ranked next. Personally, now transition from that to the main event: Josh Emmett versus Laurel Murphy. I got Laurel Murphy winning. Laurel Murphy, younger, 7 years, has about a 3.5 inch reach advantage. And the thing with Emmett is that he's got knockout power. Yeah, early on, if he catches, Murphy, he might drop him badly. He can hurt him, maybe finish him, but he's very one dimensional with his striking, especially knockout power. Is Josh Emmett. And the thing is, Emmett, like, if you're a decent striker, striking defense, you can basically do a good job of one getting hit and hurt Emmett. Like his last fight, Emmett's fight was against Bryce Mitchell, where he knocked him out brutally. The thing with Bryce Mitchell is that you don't have to worry about what's coming back at you. Bryce Mitchell is not the best striker. He's been working on it, but it's not like elite or anything. And it's not like he has popping his shots like that. And it was a tailor-made style for Josh Emmett. As hang on, I thought I was gonna sneeze there. So, yeah, but and he was able to catch Bryce Mitchell and knock him out brutally in that freaking vicious in my opinion, iconic knockout of the year in my opinion for 2023 was that knockout. But yeah, I'm sorry, I was just thinking about something. I thought I had something else in my head. That was a moment. That's why the moment science was there. But um, yeah, like that knockout of the year, and one reason that's one reason why sneak preview. I'm picking Gene Silva to do the same and Bryce Mitchell next week. But I'll talk about that next week when we get to 314 preview. But I got but Emmett got that knockout victory, impressive. But even someone like Lauren Murphy, who's a good striker, who throws kicks and can have good striking defense, it's not Josh. I don't think Josh Allen's going to catch him with that overhand right like he did Bryce Mitchell. Lone Murphy can push the pace. He's fought 5 rounds before and did well against Edson Barboza. He can push the pace. And one thing about Lone Murphy is that besides a couple of fights, he's shown toughness. There've been times where he had adversity and actually overcame it and showed that he can overcome it, which is impressive because it's something you want to see, especially once you get up the rankings. See like how tough kind of these guys have adversity, especially when you're against ranked guys who are really good. And he's proven that. And Lauren Murphy can push the pace. He has he has like some wrestling as well. He can throw out there. He's got more ways to beat Josh Emmett. I think he'll probably win by decision. I mean, maybe late round finish potentially. Because one thing about Emmett is that Josh Emmett, even though he can recover well and has a good decent chin, he takes a lot of damage in his fights. He does. Like he's the type of guy that if you watch him after a fight, his face is all busted. It's like he barely sees. Eyes all like blown up. Basically, he's got a broken nose. I mean, he ends up going to the hospital after his fights because of something broken, and he has to take time off to recover. His body is not, his body can get damaged easily. He's so tough that he can basically like push through some of his finish, some of the like damages, some of the punches he takes. But at the same time, like if he does, usually he takes. You see his face, how much damage he takes, and he goes in the hospital. And he's really like something fucked up, and so I mean he could. So I mean his body doesn't handle damage well, basically, especially since he's 40 now, and being a 4-year old in these light weight classes is really like it's tough to remain competitive against the elite of the elite, and whether it be top 5 or top 15, and I just see Lauren Murphy just picking him apart and just win by decision. I said late round finish. I think I said knockout. Matter of fact, no, I'm going submission actually with Lil Murphy because Murphy's got jiu-jitsu and Yair Rodriguez was able to submit freaking Josh Emmett. I know he hurt Emmett and dropped him, I believe, before finish submitting him, but Lil Murphy, I could see him like maybe catching Emmett, stunning him, taking him down, and getting submission. Like it's possible for Lil Murphy to do it, especially Yair is able to do it. And I think if Lauren Murphy does get a late round finish, like 4th, 5th round, probably by submission. But I think he's gonna win the decision and win comfortably. And hopefully Lauren Murphy, I know I mentioned he's shown like toughness and great adversity overcome it. Hopefully he's able to do that and perform entertain like dominant performance. You go, wow, that we're very impressed by. Hopefully, because some of his Lauren Murphy's fights in the past haven't been the most exciting. And another reason why I'm picking Lauren over Josh Emmett is that Josh Emmett, when he goes against guys who are very like really good strikers, like especially their hands, tends to lose. Like usually, like the best example is the Calvin Kattar fight when Calvin was in his prime. Like I know he won, but that was a bullshit. That was a robbery. That was one of the worst robberies I've seen. That was a robbery. That Calvin Kattar Josh Emmett fight. You watch that. I don't know how they gave that fight to Josh Emmett. That makes no sense. That still doesn't make sense to me. You have guys, like Calvin Kattar was able to pick him apart and beat him up. Ilya Tapora was able to do it in their fight. A year later, guys like those. This is all recent fight for Josh Emmett too. I think Lauren Murphy has the boxing to be able to beat up Josh Emmett and pick him apart. He doesn't have the power like Ilya does, but still, I think he's able to like do well in the striking and especially the hands and be able to pick apart Josh Emmett and like beat him up. But yeah, I got like Lauren Murphy decision or late or like 4th, 5th round submission. I got Kenny Nzechukwu first round KO. I got Jonas and Brito knockout, late first round. That's my picks for this upcoming week, this upcoming card. And let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Give me thumbs up, give me sorry, give me thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what your predictions are for, and what your predictions are for this fight, and what you're gonna and what your thoughts on this previous weekend's fights. Let me know. And like I said, there is going to be the video where I react to the UFC's the new fights that got announced by Dana White. You know, the Ian Gary and Protest fight, and the rematch from Rob and Sean O'Malley. So I also talked about the co-main event 316, which is Julia Pena and Kayla Harrison, and then Martin Vera and Mario Batista. They moved from Iowa to New Jersey, the 316 card. So talked all about in my video. So check it out. You guys are watching, listening. God bless. Hope you get a good night. I'll see you next time. Peace. Hope I don't know why I don't know why doesn't want me to end this. Okay, now I can end it.